How to increase your IQ easily. So, in order to increase your IQ, you can follow any of the three methods that I am going to give you. Also, if you find these methods a bit difficult because they are a bit difficult at first, don't worry, I will give a bonus tip at last that will help you do them effortlessly and increase your IQ. So now, let's come to method number 1. Method number 1 is learn a new language. Now, it's found in many scientific reports that the people who can speak more than one language have very high IQ than people who can't speak more than one or two languages. Learning a language increases your IQ because when we learn a new language, it increases the quantity of gray matter in our brains, making our brains more healthier and also increasing our IQ. So, from now on, as soon as possible, start learning a new language. And also, it doesn't matter which language you learn, you just have to learn a new language. It might be a bit difficult at first, but as I'm going to give you the bonus tip at last, you don't need to worry about it. If you want to know how you can learn a new language, then there are many things that you can do. You can learn from YouTube tutorials, any online website, or even there are apps that convert language learning into a game. So, you can learn using these methods. Now, tip number 2. Now the second thing that you can do to increase your IQ is trying out some music. Now, it's found in many scientific reports that in the brains of musicians, they have better white matter connectivity of the brain than the brains of non-musicians. Now, I don't think that many of you know what white matter is. So, you don't need to worry about what white matter is. You just need to know that increasing the quantity of white matter in your brain and increasing its connectivity helps you to maintain a healthier brain and also increasing your IQ. So, you should start learning music as soon as possible. You can play any instrument. It can be guitar, piano, a flute, or anything that you want. Because it doesn't matter which instrument it is, it will make your brain more healthier and also it will increase your IQ. Now, learning music is kind of fun, but if you still find it difficult, then you should not worry because I have another method at last. I mean the bonus tip that I'm going to give you which will make it effortless. So don't worry about it, just wait until the end of the video. Now it's time for the final method. After this I will tell you the bonus tip that I'm going to give you. So the final thing that you can do to increase your IQ is solving puzzles. Now this might seem to be a bit obvious at first, but just tell me, how many puzzles do you solve in a day? Or just how many puzzles do you solve in a week? For the majority of you people, many of will say just 0 because we don't solve many puzzles in a day or in a week or many times not even in a month. But in order to increase your IQ, you need to solve more and more puzzles so that you can increase your IQ. Also, the puzzle should not be very easy, they should be hard because if you can solve a puzzle easily, then you are not increasing your IQ. If you are not using your brain too much, then you are not increasing IQ. You need to force your brain in order to increase your IQ. In order to increase its capacity, you need to force it. You need to take it under tough conditions. Like a muscle grows when tension is put on it, our brain also grows when tension is put on it. So you have to make the puzzles hard and not easy. So that was the last method. Now, for all of you who have watched the video until this end, here's the bonus tip. The bonus tip is making all of these methods that I told you a habit. Now, you don't fully understand what I said, I think, so I will explain it a bit. Like for example, you can do any habit that you want because they're easy and they're automatic. So, if you can make all of these methods a habit, then they will be effortless because they're habits. I know that many of you still might not get what I'm trying to say. So, if you want to know what to do after this, just click on the video on the left side of the screen and find out.